Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Juggernaut, and today I have somewhat of an exclusive for you. So I've actually received a code for this game right around the time of its release, a couple of days before it got released. But I've been extremely busy with work and I didn't have the chance to play it, and I wasn't going to play it for some time still, but the developer actually contacted me and wanted some feedback, and I thought, you know what? Fair enough. They gave me the key for free. I was given a review copy. Didn't have time to review it before launch, but now that it's out, let's take a look at it. Give some feedback to the developers, and honor my side of the whole. Well, it wasn't really an agreement, but do my due diligence, basically. Let's say. And so, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Sammy Jukes Twin Lakes. A detective mystery exploration kind of game, basically. Released on the 19th of September of this year on Steam. It is currently, as that time recording, 20% off for the low price of €15. Ugh. Yeah, we're going to have to talk about that, or, your regional equivalent should be around $15, $16, something like that, I think. In Steam, they're still equal, I think, dollars and euros, even though they shouldn't be. But anyways, it is developed by and published by WAMIL. W-A-MIL? I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I think it's WAMIL. Anyways, an indie developer, of course. They have one game released prior to this, which was a cryptocurrency simulator sort of thing. A small game, but still, it was alright, at least based on the reviews and stuff like that, nothing too special. And then we have this. So, fair warning, I'm going to be a bit maybe too critical of this game because it is a bit janky. But I do see potential in it, and I do appreciate the attempt. However, this is a $15 game, or, its initial pricing was closer to $20. I'm going to be honest with you right now, I don't think this game is worth $20. I don't think this game is worth $10. So, for the reason, for that reason, I apologise, I'm going to be a bit overly critical of it because I do see potential in it, and I do appreciate games that step away from the norm, that give you something completely different, both in terms of genre and in terms of gameplay and really in all ways, shapes and forms, and this certainly fits the bill. So, you saw the initial, shall we say, description of the game. Am I running or am I walking? Is this... Okay, so you click shift to walk. I have the walking speed set to normal. It's pretty bloody quick, if I'm honest with you. But essentially we are here on a missing persons report, and here's a dog. The dog is going to help us if we get stuck, but for now we're not stuck. We've just gotten here, so let's head over into the cemetery because, it's publicly available, and maybe we find the person there in a shallow grave. I highly doubt it, but you know what? Long memory of Sharon Cooper. That's not the person we're looking for, unfortunately. That wasn't worth a shot.
Here lies Charlie Lake.
Hello?
Here lies Charlie Lake. Here lies Charlie Lake. Here lies Charlie Lake.
Okay, so you said interact. I thought it would actually, not dig him up for Christ's sake. No, but what I thought it was maybe write it down somewhere or something. But no, it's just reads it out. Probably because that name is going to be important somewhere down the line. Can I knock on the door? No, I can't. Okay, I am in someone's backyard, so I should probably leave. I do want to assume my role a little bit more seriously, and let's begin with the visuals, right? It's a very basic game, visually speaking. The cutscenes are a little bit questionable. It's nothing too, wild, but at the same time, it gets the job done. Again, for an indie game on a tight budget, I don't expect some incredible visual effects. There's rain, there's fogs, it sort of sets the mood for a mystery. I like it. Honestly, it's fine. I don't mind. Where I do mind it is when you get out of the rain and out of this lighting and atmosphere, which is pretty decent. Well, the game is made in the Unreal Engine, by the way, and when you go inside and you try and close the door and you realise you can't close the door because there's no button to do it, and I'm using the clicky keyboard, I apologise, I'll switch to the other one for a bit. And you wanna... Well, okay, I don't expect to be able to interact with each and every one of these, but Frankie's joint, okay. Professor Lemon? Is that Dr. Pepper? No, Professor... No, maybe not, who knows. Twin Lakes Supermarket, special offer, 20% off on selected items. On what items? Never mind. The beauty of success. Well, what a lovely picture. Fascinating. Details like this, I also very much approve of. They're not just generically stuffed things. They all have their names, and see, Jeb's imported palm oil, and George's Sugar O's, and so on and so forth. I really like the attention to detail here. I really, really do. Figure I can't go in there for rather obvious reasons.
Welcome to Twin Lakes Supermarket.
Hello, the music's a bit loud, but I would like to talk to you.
I'm Detective Sammy Jukes. I'd like to ask you a few questions about Tammy Taylor's disappearance.
I really don't want to talk about my sister again.
Okay. Let's go with this.
Who would know more about Tammy?
Everybody knows her. She made sure of that.
So, there's the thing. I like the facial expressions. I kinda do, but they're a bit silly and funny at the same time. See, it feels like this game's trying to be something like L.A. Noire, right? Which also had some pretty comical facial expressions, sort of overblown and stuff like that, and I don't mind it. It's there for gameplay reasons, right? You can spot someone lying, you can do all sorts of things, and as far as the story is concerned, I'm with it. I'm hip, I'm with it, I'm immersed, I'm there, I'm a detective, I'm figuring out mysteries and stuff. That's fine. The problem is, the game's a bit janky, like I said.
What do you suspect happened
And
to Tammy?
I suspect her. She's just doing this to get attention. She's been known to take off.
There's
and
also
not
a lot of
tell
that.
anybody. Ever since she was little,
For
she would
no
just
reason
go off
whatsoever.
in the forest without telling our parents.
I feel
and
like the game's
come back the next
really
day
trying to
like
showcase
nothing
how
happened.
much facial expressions you can get from NPCs, that their facial expressions go all over go all over the place. And a lot of the time, they're not looking at you, they're looking around, which is rude, and nobody really talks like that, especially not to a detective, right?
What can you tell me about Tammy Taylor, the missing woman?
She's my stupid sister.
Mm-hmm.
I bet she's not missing at all. Probably just left and never told anybody.
Well, I take it you're not very close?
Is it that obvious that I hate her for ruining my life?
How did she ruin your life?
She spent all the money Daddy had on some dumb art college. Now I can't afford to leave this freaking town.
Right.
Could you tell me your name and address?
Mary Lynn Taylor. I live with my parents at Williams Road.
Well, I was hoping for more of a number, but okay, never mind. There we go. So we found the sister of the... This door I can close. Oh, you can only close the door from the outside, right? I can't close it from the inside. Yes, I can. I just gotta be in a slightly awkward position to do it. Okay, never mind. Fair enough. So I think in like the first 30 seconds or the first couple of minutes, I know it's been like more than 10 minutes of the video, but like in the first few minutes of the game, in fact from the initial cutscene, it sort of sets the tone of what it's gonna be like. And honestly, I liked it. Yeah. Honestly, I like this. I like the... Okay, that scared the living daylights out of me because I thought I was in a horror movie for a second. First things first. This is what she looks like. Pretty much the spitting image of her sister, more or less. Last seen September 15th. Inordinate amounts of food all over the place. Alright, let's talk to what I'm assuming is the mother.
Detective Sammy Jukes. I'd like to ask you a few questions about Tammy Taylor's disappearance.
Finally. What took you so long? Do you have any idea how long we have been waiting? She could be dead now because of you.
Your name's Karen, and you're gonna give me that attitude. Really? Okay, what can you tell me about her?
What can you tell me about Tammy Taylor, the missing woman?
She's been very busy ever since she moved back into town. Her old stuff is in our house if you need to take a look.
Yes, that could help. What was she busy with?
For one thing, she is an activist working with the anti-oil group. That caused a lot of friction with the oil people. She would sometimes go camping by herself. I don't think that's it this time. She always told me before going, this is something different.
Right, yeah, so there's the thing. The voice acting is serviceable. I certainly prefer it way more than having to just read the text. Good, fine. On the other hand, for a game like this, let me just okay, yeah, then there's that as well as they sort of teleport back to their seats. Here's the thing, I really appreciate the fact that games like this try and step outside of the norm, right? They're not trying to be an action game, and they're not trying to be a sort of adventure game with elements of action and sort of mystery thrown in there, or vice versa. They're sticking to what they want to do, which is a story-based game where you go around and talk to people and investigate. You walk around and you talk to people. That's the gist of the game. There's no gun, there's no shooting zombies, monsters, criminals, there's no exciting chase scenes or whatever. It's very nuanced and it's very different. You can also fast travel, but yeah. Anyways, so it's I like that. I like that very much. Here's the entire map of the Twin Lakes. You have one lake over here, one lake over here, and you're pretty much in the middle of the two, and you go around talking to people. Obviously, as you talk to people, more stuff will get added to the map. You also have your case journal, not yet, people, inventory, collectibles, so on and so forth, and you piece together the case. I like that a lot. I like that it's trying to do something that's really rare. We've had games like, for example, the Sherlock Holmes series, developed by, I think it was a Ukrainian developer, but I don't remember their names, or the name of the studio. I apologize, I'll have to look it up in post, but yeah, we've had a game like that where it sort of veered in a similar direction, where you wouldn't go around running and fighting people and chasing stuff and stuff like that. You would just investigate and talk to people, and that's how you would solve the case, and it was satisfying. The game's trying to do, this game's trying to do pretty much similar things with, with it being an indie game, on a considerably lower budget, obviously, with, limited resources and stuff. And I appreciate that.
I'm Detective Sammy Jukes. I'd like to
I also like how the NPCs look. They're mostly unique. The facial expressions and features are done pretty darn well. They don't look like Gary's Mod animations and stuff like that. A bit overblown and stuff, but it's fine for games like these. You kind of expect it. The problem I have is that this is $15 or $20 on release, and the NPCs look like this. And they don't move. And he's just going to sit there and stare into the void forever. Well, no, he's going to move his eyes around. They do that very well, but other than that, he's completely static. There's no cars going up and down the road, which, alright, fair enough. I guess it would be complicated to get run over by a car and have to reload and start all over again. Okay, never mind. There's no people walking around. They don't have day-to-day routines. Time doesn't pass. They are where you find them until a scripted event, such as you talking to them, gets them to stand up all of a sudden and teleport in a different position. The animations for how they move around and stuff are very, very basic.
People are terrible with money.
Let's talk to you as well.
I'm
See?
Detective Sammy Jukes. I'd like to ask you a few questions about Tammy Taylor's disappearance.
Welcome to Twin Lakes Bank. Are you here for a reverse mortgage?
So you pair all of that together, and I can't help but feel like this isn't worth the money. Especially because if you're craving for a detective story of this type, there are games in the genre. If you're even craving for a minimalistic indie-style game of this genre, there are some that exist that'll set you back a lot less. Understanding full well that with, you know, today's economy, inflation and everything, $15 for an indie game today isn't the same as $15 for an indie game 10 years ago or even 5 years ago. I get all of that, but at the same time, I mean, listen.
Who would know more about Tammy?
Other than her parents, I can't really say.
What can you tell me about the No More Oil group?
Nothing much.
Feels like it isn't even cut properly occasionally, like it just suddenly cuts off there. It's the little details like that, although I love the facial expression, makes me think that she's somehow involved because, you know, because of the way she's looking at me and around, but I also know that if I were to step outside, she would do the same thing, and
Don't
it's
try to
not...
rob me, the vault is empty.
It's not because of me, it's, well, just how she looks in general, I suppose. At all times. Fair enough. And so, ultimately, I am left in a bit of a weird position. I want to be understanding towards the game, and I think that generally games like this don't get a lot of attention, they don't get very popular, and it's kind of obvious why. I mean...
This house is empty.
Oh, no joke, really. You sure? Oh, it's literally empty. Okay. So, for obvious reasons, like that, it's not the sort of thing that would appeal to the masses. You would have to meet the game halfway, and I went into the game fully expecting that. I didn't went in for a perfectly polished, you know, ironed out experience where everything is everything works perfectly. There's no bugs. There's no glitches. Everything is you know, looks well refined and all of that.
This looks dangerous. This looks dangerous.
I mean, it's a shotgun. Someone's probably doing something to it.
I'll never stop fighting for the environment.
Uh-huh. Like the gas mask and the stalker-esque backpack and outfit and everything, but anywho, there you go. For future reference, don't point the barrel towards the door. Horribly dangerous. Point it towards a wall or, better yet, the corner of a room. Anyways, there you go. So I'm left in a bit of a weird position. I don't really know what to do here. I want to meet the game halfway, and I don't want to be overly critical of it and say, oh, this isn't worth your money, you can pick it up when it's on sale, or, you know, when it goes down to like $5 or something. I want to, you know, if you can get it for free or whatever, and then try it out and provide some feedback for the developers and so on and so forth. Yeah, bit harsh. On the other hand, I want to meet the game halfway. I don't want to be overly critical with it, but for €15 or 20 on release, 1960, whatever, on release, I just can't really get myself to say that. The story itself, I haven't reached the end of it. I've played a little bit. This is the very beginning of the game because I didn't want to spoil anything. I just wanted to talk to like a couple of people. Because the entire value of the game is in the story, so I don't want to spoil it in my video and show you gameplay from, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours in, once you've explored a certain amount of things, that it's really a bit, you know, well, let's just say it's not ideal, but, yeah, let's go over to the case journal, and, well, let's go over to people, Karen, search permission granted. Okay, lives at the end of Williams Road, works at the market. Williams Road end. Is this the end or the beginning? It's either going to be here or here. Let's go to house, which is going to be over here. But like I said, when you combine everything, the janky animations, the voice acting, the visuals that are somewhat questionable, yeah, you put all of these things together. This looks like the end of the road, right? Wait. The map's broken. Okay, so here's the bridge, right? This is what I'm looking at. It shows as though I'm looking over there. And you look over there. See, now I'm looking that way, not... Maybe it's only when I run? Nope. The minimap's fine. But the map is bugged. Stuff like that also, for example. Why not? Great example of what I was talking about. Like, there's no reason for your map to be this broken and like, you know, 90 degrees wrong or whatever. You put all of these things together and... I don't know. It feels cheap, it feels like it's not worth your money, and it kind of drives you away from it. Even though, like I said, I like the idea of it, I really do, and I see a lot of potential in a basic game like this, because I think it goes to show that you don't need a multi-million-dollar budget, right? To make an interesting game that's, fair enough, not going to get mass appeal, but at the same time, is going to be interesting enough. So, a small town like this, with a bunch of houses and a story. That's all you need. And a lot of these are just like pre-made assets, and you just put them in there. You can put some work in you know, designing the books and bits of cereal and stuff around to make the town feel a little bit more lively. Animate a couple of things, although not everything has to be animated. It doesn't have to feel like an actual real-world town. Just, you know, just some basics. Doesn't even have to have a day and night cycle with, you know, jobs and everything. Just make the town feel a little bit more lively. Fix the map, fix the facial expressions, slightly better editing with the voice acting, you know, with cut-offs and everything. And you could have a game that can present a really, really interesting story. As for the story itself, like I said, I haven't finished it, but it's not bad. I don't mind it. And it's the main driving point and the focus of the game itself. So if you can get over the jankiness, at the end of the day, it's a mystery, right? And there's some red herrings, and there's, you know, very Agatha Christie-like running around trying to find clues, and then, you know, some Sherlock Holmes in there, throw it in, whatever you will. It's fine. It's not bad at all. I don't mind it. Couple of things I would like to see, though. Slightly better hidden clues, because, well, you open the door and I pretty much know there's nothing here because I can't open these. Okay, maybe that's a bit beyond our budget. Opening each and every cupboard in the town would take likely like 500 hours to complete, but it's glowing. Why is it? I understand why it's glowing, because you don't want me to go around clicking everything until I figure out what I need to click, but okay, it's obviously a PC, I can interact with it fine. How about a little note in the corner of the room right there, which isn't really going to glow until I get super close to it and see it. Or, for example, lighting feels really weird here. Especially as you open the door. Yeah, it feels like everything's moving. Something under the door, or under the bed. So I'd have to crouch and get at it, you know? Obviously, I'm just searching someone's room. It's not necessarily, you know, the biggest thing ever, but somewhere throughout the town, right? seems a bit
Tammy's
obvious.
admitted to rehab.
So stuff like that, and then, you know, as you sort of unravel the mystery, you find extra clues and so on and so forth. I think it wouldn't be a bad idea. So with certain tweaks, you could make a game on this budget, or a budget similar to this one, in a similar amount of time, be a lot better than what this is. On the other hand, there's this problem. I just fell through the world. And I don't know if there's a way back up. Yeah. Water doesn't work. Now, I didn't expect for there to be swimming and you know, searching underwater and stuff, but I expected an invisible wall around the town. Why not have an invisible wall around the town? It's such a simple addition. I could add it in for you. Like, I don't make video games, and I could probably add it into the game for you. And I can't climb up here, obviously. So now I think I'm going to have to restart the game, because I'm pretty sure it's all elevated and there's no way to climb. Because it's like a sheer cliff all around. Because technically I'm underwater. Yeah. And there you go. That was Sammy Jukes, Twin Lakes, ladies and gentlemen. It's not a good game. I'm sorry. At the end of the day, would I recommend this? You know, thumbs up or thumbs down? I can't recommend this to you. For a couple of dollars, maybe, if you're willing to look past the jank and sort of meet the game halfway. It has some interesting dialogue and an interesting concept where you just go around town and talk to people, trying to you know, figure out the mystery. The problem is it's not super open, although it is pretty open, so there are certain things that you need to do first in order to get to other things, but at the same time, you can talk to there's no set order of people that you need to talk to and so on and so forth, so yeah, there's, like, you know, it's a fairly open world, but there are some procedural things that you need to do, but again, good idea. I like it. I like the concept of it. I like the uniqueness of it, because it's not just a generic, you know, a game where you walk around and have something narrated to you, a la the disappearance, vanishing of Ethan Carter, right? Edith Finch. It wasn't Ethan Carter. There was something of Edith Finch, and then there was I think it was called The Vanishing of Ethan Carter as well. I'm going to have to look those up as well. I'll put links in the description down below for those games, where you just, like, it's a, you know, a pretty interesting game visually, and you just walk around and have things narrated to you. This is a little bit more interactive. I prefer this, but at the same time, there's too many negatives for me to really recommend this. The animations, visually, it's not great. Basic functions of the game, like a wall to stop you from falling off the map, and, you know, like the map working, like the the actual game map that you open up, the paper map working properly, and so on and so forth. Yeah, would have loved to see those, but at the end of the day, I'm sorry. You know, I feel bad, but goes to show that just because you've given me a free review copy of a game does not mean I will give it positive reviews. At the end of the day, I really wanted to like this, because it's very unique. That's why I wanted to like it. Because I'm a sucker for games that are, like, sort of out there, you know, like something ridiculous that only a small amount of people are going to enjoy. But they still have to be made right, and they still have to be made, you know, things still have to work inside the game itself. So if you take a look at the credits, which is why I'm curious actually how many people worked on this. Well, you're welcome. Firat and Yusuf Turk. Well, there's the cast, there's the voice actors, I'm assuming. I'm assuming. with just the voice actors, and I think it's just the two brothers. At least I think they're brothers, right? Anyways, same last name. Yes, it's just two people. Yeah, look, I don't want to be too critical of it, but the game just uses assets from the Unreal Engine for the most part. Litters them around, and that's it. In terms of the creativity, Sammy Jukes will return in Moravian Circle. Alright, I guess. I mean, if they have another game lined up, maybe that one will you know, maybe they'll learn from this one and implement it in the second one, which I guess is the idea here, right? At the end of the day, I don't mind the story, which is, again, the main driving force of the game, but on the other hand, you know, I think it's very, very evident what the problems with the game are. You just give it to an average gamer, let him look at it for like 5 minutes, and he'll tell you exactly what's wrong with it. So, yeah, I don't expect too much with a small development team, and you know, virtually not really even a team, right? Just two people. I don't expect much, but at the same time, a game like Regiments is made by one man. Yes, Regiments is made by one man, on, admittedly, probably a considerably larger budget, but still. It's, yeah. It's an interesting title, for sure. You can get some laughs out of it, if nothing else, from the bugs and stuff like that, if you find that funny and enjoy it, although I think that's more like 2010-ish kind of humour. For now, I leave you with, you know, just my first impressions, which is, I wanted to like the game, and if you can meet it halfway, I think you can get some enjoyment out of it from talking to people and trying to solve the mystery and stuff like that. It's simple and straightforward enough to where it lets you immerse yourself rather easily into the role of this detective and go around talking to people and stuff, but the moment you see the way they act, the way they talk, it sort of pulls you right out. So, yeah. Ultimately, the reason I'm making this video and the reason I'm going so in-depth here is I want to see this studio succeed. I want to see indie games like this get better. You gotta understand, this is someone's first game, or technically second game. This isn't Call of Duty, right? This isn't Battlefield. This isn't Dragon Age or, you know, Mass Effect or whatever, if we're going to look at RPGs. This isn't a multi-billion-dollar company making this. It's someone's basement project, essentially, right? It's not going to be held up to the level of a AAA game. It's not going to be held up to the level of most indie games as well, because it's their first try at something. Some indie developers have great first attempts at making a game, you know, phenomenal. That really, you know, rake in tons of profit and stuff, but for most developers, it's games like this. This is what gets the ball rolling. This is where you see what works and what doesn't. And I want to provide as much feedback as I can to, you know, help them learn from the mistakes they've made here and get something that's a little bit more commercially viable and ultimately higher quality at the end. And if I can do that, then, you know, happy to help, basically. But that's it for now. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been Sammy Jukes and the Twin Lakes. You can pick the game up on Steam currently. It is available, well, at the time of recording, 20% off on sale, but otherwise the full price is €19.50 exactly, or your regional equivalent. Of course, prices vary from region to region on Steam, so you can check it out, but for me that is the price. On sale it is €15.50, so there you go. I'll see you all next time. Thank you for watching, and have fun, take care, and bye-bye.